Hello, everyone. It's Monday night in most places, unless you're listening to the recording. My name is Maggie McKee. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada, and I'm so honored to be hosting this call tonight for Michael DiMuccio. And I see a lot of familiar faces and some people on the call that I don't know. So what we're going to be focusing on, and this is, I'm a teacher, so I'm going to be calling on you. And don't try to hide. I can see you all. This is going to be a group event here. We're going to talk about live events. And my first question is, what would you call a live event? Now, that's kind of a funny question, but who wants to answer that?
I will.
Okay, Sue.
It's anything that you have where you have people that you're in front of people. For instance, I am going to start doing pink parties with some of my people, and they can be probably anywhere from 5 to 10 or more people.
Okay, well, I think that the pink party has really had a big influence. Barb Bertucci's still wearing pink. I love it. And there's no end, right? You can have as many parties, pink or not. And you're right. It's all about getting in front of people physically. And we're going to talk about hybrid events in a bit too. So good on you, Sue. And I don't even think you have to have 5. I think one person besides yourself is a live event. And talking to yourself in the mirror to get ready, that's probably a live event. So it's pretty open. Who else has a live event concept they want to share?
I think you can have someone over for breakfast or lunch and have a conversation around any product or income.
Exactly. And what's the most important thing when you're starting what we call a live event? When you're in front of somebody, what is the focus of the first conversation, if you like, or the why? What do you need to do to begin?
You have to have a relationship, first of all, and if you don't have one, you got to build one somehow. And it's easier to build one if the person lives in your neighborhood.
Exactly. And you can have a live event in a line at the bank or at the store. I've done that before. I've done strength tests, which is often something fun to do in a live event, just about anywhere. But yes, Paul, you really nailed it. There has to be a relationship. And if it's somebody you've just met, we're all magical in building relationships. Well, the first thing we usually say is hello. And then having the focus on whom? Who do we focus on in that conversation?
Them.
Right. And remember, if you were on Seiko Kai, we talked about effective listening, conscious listening. Yes. And that's really important because people can tell if you're not really with them, right? If you're looking at your phone or you're looking at the menu in the coffee shop. Yeah, you really need to be present. So that's important. So other examples?
How about the Seiko Kai events?
Yeah, I was kind of holding off for that, but it is, if it's geared toward guests at some point, you can do that. Like they did the live Pink Day launch, where you use the recording. Well, the ones that we had after, you have people over, but then you use the recording to have it. And that brings a different kind of credibility to your event, like Joy's, video, and then also the testimony shares, the parties showing that's a great one to, even if it's one person and you're showing that to, it just shows the synergy and the energy of all the people around. And so we are talking about a hybrid event on April 20th, which would be a culmination of corporate and us, and also having it be a type of guest event as well. So we're calling that a hybrid event so that you can have someone come and check it out.
Exactly. And I think the key thing I'm hearing here too is something that we've learned in the business right from the get-go. It's not just you and that person. What's the other element that's really important? Think of your alphabet.
The A, B, C, the actual, well, the corporate, like I was talking about, the
Right.
extra, the
Yeah,
person.
and it can be a recording. It can be a phone call. How many of you have ever had a coffee shop meeting and you've called somebody on the phone and had that person talk to the person that you're with? I do that. And you know, you don't always get the first person you call, but I've got a good long list of A's that I can call. And it really is magical when you watch the person's face. They know you maybe, but you're just the neighbor or the professor or whatever. When they hear somebody else who wants to talk to them, especially when you edify that person and you say why you want them to hear from this person, and you tell that person why you want them to meet your contact, it really does elevate the not just the conversation, but the energy around why we're doing this. So don't ever forget the ABC. And it could be a strength test. It could be, I know, Leo, you do lots of demos, right? A demo is actually an A. And our reliable products never fail. So Leo, do you want to talk about how you use the demos in your live meetings?
Okay, bonjour tout le monde. Hi, everybody. So, my live event, comment on dit ça là? Event.
But
Okay. Paul, are you there?
yeah, I'm here. Spritz
Ben, je vais l'essayer. I'm going to try in English.
Essay.
My book I recommend is this one. You can have it in English.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
And the live event and that book is only a coffee shop.
Mm.
Okay, because you know, Quebec is a large country, right? And I have people from 6 hours in my place, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's not so easy. I made a meeting with Mike for the law of attraction, you know, or human being more training. That's fine. That's okay. But between the big event, what I did, coffee shop. Only coffee shop with the Tim Horton. You have any Quebec, you have a lot of Tim Horton, you know. And that's why I teach my group to just, if you are just 3 or 4, you can have a breakfast together, just share your experience. You don't need to have always a room because you have to pay for the room.
Mm.
You need to have a minimum people for the room. It's a lot of stress that if you just reserve for 4 people on the table and we just talk that's what it says in that book. That's my preferred book I read, right? You understand what I mean? That
Yeah.
the most important is to sit together and have a hug, shake, and share the testimonial about product. And you can share the testimonial about business. My preferred part is business, of course, but it's easy to everybody in my group to do it. You don't just wait with Leo, you know?
And how many times a week do you do that, Leo?
Oh, I just said to my group, if you have 1 or 2 a month is good, because between that, a lot of FaceTime. I did it today, or 3-way call. You see, I made a lot of contact with my. Every day I do 3-4 contact easy.
Mm. And why do you do 3 or 4 a day? What's the point of having all of that?
I create a system, you know, with 4 steps. It's easy to share. Doesn't matter whether it's 6 hours my place or 2 just a neighbor. I don't care. I just use my system. And when I start, I talk about, I never start with, I repeat, I never began my conversation about product. I never.
Say that again?
I never began my conversation, how would you say that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Conversation to talking product, never.
No, good.
Not anymore.
And
You
why
know-
is that important? I think what we have tended, perhaps because we love the product so much, we get to that too soon. We get to the business too soon. We get to the products too soon. So what is the wisdom behind not starting with that, Leo?
Because I learned a lot of that book. It's only 95% of people hate salesmen, hate sell product. 95%, right? So it's just 5%. If you begin to start, I have something. I always with my bottle, every restaurant I go, I have my bottle. 2 years ago, I said, you know that bottle, blah, 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 blah. I made a pitch like my bottle. How much? When I said the price, it's true. It's really gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I never talk about my bottle. I just
Right.
do it before the Zoom. That's why I say my I just do a new contact. I don't know her.
Yeah.
Okay, because I tell blah 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 what you do, etc. Basic conversation. And one time I said to Patricia, she's from Gatineau, Ottawa. I said to her, "Hey Patricia, can I ask you 2 questions? I have share you a little document for 15 minutes to read." Of course, she said yes. What a question! First question, Patricia. I know she didn't know I do Nikan. No, I never said Nikan. Because if you say Nikan, you go to Google. I'm not interested. You try to find a product. You have a salesman. I don't want to sell product, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I never said that. I said that I have 2 questions for you. She said, yes, of course. What? You know, Patricia, everybody likes go to holiday, vacation. You know what? Do you know somebody like to go to vacation où qui veut, quand qui veut? Comment on ça?
When they want, where they want.
Okay, merci, Paul. And I always say yes, but I'm sure Patricia said, okay.
Yes, that's right.
I said, second question for you, Patricia. She said, yes, what? Do you know 82% of people hate job about salary, bus, traffic, everything. He hate job. 82%, that's true. She said, yes. So, Patricia, do you know? I always say, do you know? Not her. Do you know somebody can have possibility to have a retired before 3 years? That's mean if you want 50,000 a year now, you can want the same amount. She can retire. She said, do you know somebody? Yes. What you do? Can I share you a little document? Make you my first 10 million in English. And I share that with the little video Mike, he did in Toronto with the Nicholas. And 2 questions, that's it. That's what I do every day.
I think you've hit some really good points. The first one I want to really underline, Leo, is don't talk Nikan, don't talk product. And as soon as you mention product, people think you're trying to pitch them something, to sell them something, and nobody wants to be sold. People want to buy, but they want to be totally in charge of that. They don't want you telling them what they need, because who the heck are you, Leo? Who are you, Maggie? Right? So that's really important. And not to mention the company, because people that may take out their phone right there and Google it. And even if they don't do that, it takes their mind someplace because they don't know what Nikan is. So they can make up all kinds of stuff, and that loses the focus. So, and I love the fact that you're talking to people in the third party approach that Michael often recommends, that who do you know? Because that way people don't feel like you are zeroing in on them. I mean, we're interesting, aren't we, human beings? We go like this pretty quickly. We put our hands up and say, back off, you're melting the ice here. So yeah, it's important to not mention the product or the company to begin with until you've got that rapport and that warmth and their curiosity. You've really, this woman, you have piqued her curiosity, and that brings her in to want to know more, especially if you say, do you know anybody who? And then you can pick up the vacation theme later with our travel program, etc., but not yet.
you see, Maggie, the last 2 years ago, when I began with my system, all the consultant I signed it personally, he signed because I have a system. It's not
Mhm.
the result with the product. You know, before many years ago, I tried to prêter, comment on dit ça, prêter?
To lend, loan, to
Launch
loan.
product, and I hope you have a result,
Yeah, exactly.
you know. And he said, I love it. Can I share that? That's what I hoped before. Now I changed my strategy. It's easy for me. I signed up 2 last month again, and 2 last month, March, it was a weekend before many years ago. And when
Mhm.
I explained them my strategy, my system, said, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
I want to come back because I have 4 steps. What I share to you is step 1 only. You see?
Yeah.
When I made a follow-up, right? I don't have what do you think about it? I said, what do you like it on my document?
Yes.
We'll try to say positive thing. Okay.
Mhm.
And he said, oh, that's network marketing. Of course, I'm happy. How is it works? I have a video I sent to you. Nothing about it yet. Step 2. Step 3, I have another video I did how to make 1,000 to 5,000 a month. And I mentioned that book.
Mhm.
4 step, 3 first step, never say nothing about Nikan and product. Never. Only in the step 4. And now, where you live? Laval. Oh, me too. Can I go to your place to do magic trick? Are you a magician? Of course I'm a magician. Oh yeah, well, that's why I made my demo. But if it's too far, 1 hour, 2 hour, I have a video I did for the Mexican, but I'm speak French. Over 3,000 views now. I share that. That's it.
Yeah. And those are demos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Great.
this time, step 4. Oh, it's Nikan. Yes. Only in step 4.
Yeah. Good point. And the thing about the way you're doing it, showing them a system, because I think once people realize that there's something that they can, a track they can run on, they're much more likely to become involved. And we do have a brilliant system, and you've honed it to work for you with the 4 steps. A little bit at a time, not the whole posing them on the first call where they go to there going, oh good, I hope I never see that guy again. Just a little bit, teasers.
Do you want an example? It's okay. I'll speak too much.
Yep.
It's okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Last September, friend of mine, just not a friend, I know her 10 years ago. She just texted me, are you still in Nikan? Yes. Do you think the insole is good for my leg? Of course. How much is it? Blah, blah, blah. I said, hold it. Can I have you 2 questions? And I sent to her step 1. Look at that. Listen, if the old Leo said, I send you to my webpage, PW webpage, and you can find and so about it, right? 2 years ago. But now I said Mireille. She said she's Mireille. She was in my group. She said, "Can I have 2 questions for you?" And that, of course. I sent to you first step 1. Blah 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 blah. I do the follow up the same day. Step 2. She listened. She looked the video. The video is a French video in that book, but I'm sure you can have in English. Step 3, she sent my video to I do. And step 4, and no news. Monday morning, I receive an email from Nikan, new consultant, Mireille Chanel. Oh, I have a phone number now. She's a new. What's happened this night? So I read your thing, your system. I think I can do that. She tried 2 or 3 network marketing before without success. But when I see my system, she said, I think I can do that. It's easy. And she don't just buy one and so she buy 2 pair,
Mhm.
waterfall, September, and October 2 pack.
Good.
Because she changed her mind.
Yes.
I want to be businesswoman, not just buy a info.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Big difference. Thank you for sharing that. And okay, let's talk about other live events. Do you want to talk about the hybrid event, Barbara?
Sure. I haven't, we haven't fine-tuned the California flow yet, but it's our intention to have it end with a guest event. So the latter part of the day will be, I believe, more toward guests. And yet, you know, when we've done like Team Diamond and other things, yes, there's recognition. Yes, there's some other things that occur, but you never know what nugget someone's going to hear that's going to make that difference. And if you have someone coming to your house live, you know, just have them come, you know, get a little bit about their why, or, you know, connect, maybe get a little bit of food and sit down and go, you know, let's watch this together and see what we got, you know, and then you can do the demos after or during the break, possibly. But I know Dr. Gary Linder is on our California team. He's got some amazing things with his self-care, you know, brochure and the wellness home concept. And I know we also have talked about pivoting, or I have, and maybe dropping the ball on certain things. So not having talked business, but talking more toward customers. So to shift it for us, like you're saying, Leo, to have those presentation conversations is really brilliant. At the same time, I think we may have dropped, backing up a little bit, we may have dropped the ball on how sick America is, right? How sick it is to be in our home, or how the water is so bad. And that's what Dr. Gary Linder brings to the, you know, that reinstating what we already know, but then we're the solution to that. And I think that that's a big deal, because like with the air system right now, if we yes, that's a great video Ni can put out, but we need to like remind people how our home is so tightly shipped that, you know, that we have more things are off gas. I just painted, you know, some accent walls in my room, and of course all my air systems are out, you know, and up and running, because I don't want to be that. But if we can remind people, if you don't have a filter, you are the filter, right? And so there may be a few things that through these past 2 years, I call them, you know, the hibernation, but you know, the pandemic and such, we're now coming out of that. And we have to like dust off the dust and come back and really connect with people. And it makes such a big difference, I think. And I think that, you know, having the collagen be a lead in or a way to gather, to connect with someone. We will have testimonies. I'm not sure about all the products or whether it just be collagen. We're still fine tuning that actually tomorrow. So you'll find out, but it will be an awesome guest event toward the end. And but for the whole event, because it's not going to be a full 2 hours, I hope to have it a little bit shorter than that. We have that window blocked, but let's look at, you know, where we can play along the way and how we can adapt it to be more effective for all of us to have this hybrid event, and having, you know, 1 or 2 people come on board, or other team people playing, and having 1 or 2 people just brings that much more synergy, right, to the place. And I know Martina and Patricia, they're going to have a live event that day. They're going to be jumping on. And she said to me, it was really quite interesting. She said, you know, I wasn't sure, and I had to do it for the last, not this last Seiko Kai, but another event where she shared, and she just apologized to her guests and said, you know, just give me a moment, I've got to do this. but her guest was really impressed that she was asked to speak, what she shared about, and it edified her in a whole nother way. It gave her
Yeah.
a different type of credibility. And I think that's what we bring, or what Nikan helps us bring to the party or to the gathering or like workshop, because it just shows, like Leo said, that we have a system in place, we have some training in place. I love this training, and we have ways to actually, with the balanced life, happy life, to kind of get people on board to learn more. But what better way? And then to do it with the hybrid system as we get back out there, right? Get back out there and play, and
Exactly.
just yeah, just give it a whirl and see. And people, if they're coming all the way to your home, have some snippets, have some great little food things, and you can even share the collagen at the end. But that way, they're not going to be worried about it being, oh, it's longer than an hour, or that, because they're not sitting at their computer. They're sitting
Yeah.
there with you, watching it from afar.
Exactly. Great points. And yeah, it's going to be fun I'm going to actually be out of the country, I think, on that day, but so I won't be having a hybrid event in my home. But we have all these opportunities, and as we emerge from the hibernation, as you say, and start getting back out in person with people, do you think that there's more power in being there in person than there is being on a Zoom or on a phone call?
Yes.
Yes, Paul, yes. Okay. And what
I
is
mean,
it? What is it about
I'm in
that
the
personal
process of
contact?
trying to.
I was just going to say something about my introduction to Nikan, not so that people don't think the person who called me and invited me to an event, that's really all he did. But he called me 9 times, he says. And there happened, I guess that is the point. For me anyway, I don't know why. I guess I wasn't ready to go anywhere for a little while. And then he said, well, this event, it was a product launch. This event is happening in the building next door to your office.
Mm.
So it's really not going to be difficult for you because we, have had 4 children. I think the baby was kind of sick or something. There was a lot going on. But he persisted because I was interested, but I guess not enough to go somewhere yet. But but I guess he felt that there was enough interest that he kept calling, and it was about, once a week or something. He called. I didn't know this person. So but he had heard about me through somebody that worked with his wife. So he
Is that
could
Bruce
tell.
Black, Paul?
No, it was Ron Schmelik. It wasn't Bruce. I didn't know Bruce. I didn't know anybody at the time. So just because, okay, so you might be thinking, oh, I want guests. Well, they won't come. They won't necessarily come just because you want them to come right away, because I didn't. And I'm in the business 20 years later. So, it doesn't matter if you spend time with people, as long as you're focused on something. Because Maggie, do you remember Bill McLaughlin?
I sure do. Yeah.
Okay, so they were gold, and I think they did a 60K one month. And Bill said something that's really true. He said, everything works and nothing works. It's just how often you do whatever it is that you're doing. Does that make sense, Maggie? Like, it has to be often.
Yeah, that's what, and Leo made that point really well. I mean, you could talk to one person every 2 weeks, but it's like cooking one noodle at a time, like Michael says. You're not going to get the result from small bits. So it really depends on your goals too. Like some people are very happy to do 1 or 2 events a month, and that's perfect. and it may not be what you want. Like Paul, you have a goal for Royal Diamond. You're going to have a lot more contacts than you would if you were just wanting to help a couple of people, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Well, I want to
Actually-
add one more thing. The Seiko Kai that's coming up on April 20th, if people did the May 9th launch or, for the collagen, they're going to be at probably their first month, their 30-day mark or possibly 45-day mark. And it would be a great way to invite them back in your home to see how they're doing, what they're doing, and do the pulse check with them and do your own testimonies in the house, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that when I heard other people share, I know about knees and other things, but this one shared about, oh, I can stretch my leg out straight in bed, laying on my back. And I was like, I can too now. And there was a time where I couldn't do that for about 3 or 4 years. I had to always put something underneath my knees. So there's going to be that too. Some ahas happening, I think.
From March
Exactly.
9th. Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
power of
Good.
the story, and it doesn't have to be your story. You can share other people's stories. Jeannie, I want to hear from you because you do booths at fairs and so on, don't you? So those are live events, right?
Yes, big live ones. Yeah.
So tell us about that.
When I'm in town, like right now, it's a marketplace, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's quite advertised quite well and over the years, it's 27, been there 27 years. And so we have snowbirds. We love our Canadian friends that come down too. And Minnesota, when it snows and blizzards, they all want to come to Arizona. So I have a booth there, and I've gotten regular customers over the years who come, regular kitchen gadget customers. And I am working on getting their names and numbers because they love me, they trust me. We have great conversations in short, because when it's busy, you can't have deep conversations. But I was going through my phone contact list and I've seen several of those customers I have in my phone contacts. So I'm reaching out to them because I always tell them, this credit card machine Square is not going, they don't send you lots of stuff, because people are worried about getting spammed and stuff. So yeah, it's very brilliant. The thing there is that people come to me because they know the product.
Yeah. And a great
So
opportunity for you to, again, you could do what Leo does. Who do you know?
exactly.
Who do you know who
I
would
love Leo's
like to have?
things.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I have neighbors that I have at the booth at the market too. So my neighbors on this side, he's a jeweler and he and his wife are on the collagen now. And she just recently shared that they've been on it 2 weeks now. And she said, and they're in their she's in her 40s. He's barely 50, I think now. But anyway, she said, I think my knees are getting stronger. They feel better. So that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, we've got some great testimonials coming up.
One thing I noticed is with the collagen, and I don't, every once in a while I take power naps, but I haven't had to do that as often.
Oh, I haven't heard that one before. That's good.
Uh-oh.
Well,
that's really
I'll
good.
tell you, the thing that got me into the business is the interaction right after my wife passed away. Paul spent 3 hours on the phone. He didn't have to do any of that. He gave me some things to keep me going that he could have righteously charged for and didn't do it. And I will always remember.
Well, yeah, how you began is a very important, and what got you started because then you just do that with other people. And it's important. We had a booth at several years at a trade show type situation, but we're now going to have a room at the National Federation of the Blind convention for an afternoon block. And it can be very effective. Somebody came there and went silver when it took 20,000 points to do it. So that was Chuck Lidberg. So you just never know. And it was because, there's always a trigger for him. He'd been in network marketing many times. And for him, it was I think it was the Palm Mag at that time. It made a big difference to his hip, and that was it. He was in. So,
What did it with me was the sleep system.
Well, yeah, but it was, you had bought that, of course, and then you had great results. That Power Mag, we just had it. We applied it to his hip. It didn't take very long, and he said, "I can't believe it." So there's so many routes to Rome, as long
what
as
I'm
we
gonna
just
do-
walk on them every day.
What
That's
I'm gonna
right.
do, I take classes on Thursday morning. I'm gonna show my classmates the Niken thing with the two little balls in it.
Oh yeah, people can get
Yeah.
great results with that.
The
And
Mag
then
Duo, yeah.
Yeah,
Mag Duo.
yeah, it's a Mag Duo, I think. And I'm gonna.
So this is very different from what Leo starts with. He starts with the 45-second. It doesn't, as long as you start and start often, things are going to happen. I mean, that's the same thing I said 5 minutes
Maggie, I
ago.
want you to underline something because I think this is really great. But what there's a way that you create urgency to get through the process. And so do you want to touch on that? Because I think, Leo, you do that. You had the gal watching the video in one day, and doing the steps. That's great. So you don't want to, if they can't make it to Tuesday's
Good.
Balanced Life, Healthy Life, then get on with them and do something where you show your own video or you're
Yeah.
doing something rather than waiting for the next Tuesday event, right? So
That's a really, really important event. And, if we think about ourselves, and I know I'll go to a store or someplace and I'll see something, and if I don't buy it or there's nothing followed up on it, I walk out and I forget it. It takes, I don't know what the stats are, something like 10 or 12 exposures before people make a decision. And if those can be gentle, like Leo does, that initial step 1, step 2 can be the same day. It can be an hour later, step 3, step 4. So getting that urgency and that information, those contacts over time, in a short period of time, is really, really important for helping people think about how it helps them, because that's what it's about, helping them to make a decision, because we're easily distracted. I mean, I can decide I'm going to buy a Ferrari one day and the next day I don't even want to get on my bicycle, like we can be very fickle. So we need to help people. We need to help guide them towards what is the best solution for them. So thanks, Barbara. That's a really good point. There was something else I wanted to, Mike, we haven't heard from you. Do you have something about live events that you would like to share with us?
Not at this time, please.
Okay. So I had a live event today, and this is an interesting story. I met a gal on Facebook. I was, playing, I don't do Facebook very much, but I can't even remember where I found her, in some kind of people over 55 group. And so we switched to the telephone, which was great. She lives in the Lower Mainland here, about an hour and a bit from my place. And we just really hit it off. And she drove all the way in today. And driving into Vancouver when you're from the Shires, as we call it, is not an easy thing to do because it's a pretty busy city. Anyway, she came in because she's Japanese and she really wanted to know more about this wellness home concept and all of that. So she came and we sat and we just chatted about her life. So basically I gave her the picture of the 5 pillars of wellness, asked her which 2 of those she would like to improve on, and talked about that for a bit to help the focus. I find that card that I got from Life in Balance tool is really helpful. And I actually have a big poster of it in my office as well. It really helps people to get focused, and it's helpful, I think, to have them go more deeply into what that was. And for her, it was, she wants to make a difference in society. She said, I need to wake people up. And I thought, well, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And what do you want to wake them up to? And how are you doing that? She's a yoga instructor, etc. And we just had a lovely visit. And then because she did want to see the wellness home, we went through and did all the demos. And, you know, she sleeps really well, she said. And I still did the sleep demo, and I did the balance and energy before and after. And there was a big difference. And on the insoles, and I could see how the penny was dropping for her, that even if you sleep well, you can sleep better. And even if you're healthy, she never gets colds. You can still improve your immune system, etc. So it was fascinating. And then I took her for lunch. We have a beautiful little cafe here that makes homemade soups and croissants and that sort of thing. So we went and had lunch, and then she went on her way. And I said, you know, you've got lots of choices. You can do nothing. You can decide you want to get some products for your own purposes, or you can decide that we can work together and help you create whatever it is that you want to create in your life. So she, and I knew she's very introverted. I knew not to push her for an answer. I will contact her tomorrow, see how she's feeling, and follow up. I'm going to send her the invitation to the Happy Life, Balanced Life, because she does want more information. And if she can't make that, I'll send her a recording, and, you know, keep working towards what will help her to make the decision that's right for her.
I want to
And
ask
that's
you
all from a
something,
contact. Yes.
Maggie. Before she came to visit you,
Mm-hmm.
had you sent her any information at all?
Sent her,
Or
yeah.
did you send her a video, or did you send her a something, or did she just come to visit you based on whatever dialogue you'd had on the phone?
I think I sent her a video from the app, to be honest with you, just a short video.
Yes,
I should
'cause I
keep
do
better
that
records,
too.
Paul. Yeah.
No, huh?
And I don't know what
Oh,
I sent her, but whatever
well,
it
you
was,
sent
she
her
was
something.
interested.
I mean, that's
Yes,
all I
I
was
did.
getting at.
Something
because
very short, like 2 minutes.
Okay, because I have conversations with people, and I send some, like I want to use these little videos as sorting tools,
Yes.
because you know, I don't want somebody driving and then, you know, we're just getting nowhere, right? Yeah, so you sent her something short to look at.
Yeah, I did. And, you know, the initial invitation, she was going to come in on the same day that I do music with the band I'm in. And I said, do you like music? And she said, I love music. I said, well, you know, we could have a dual fun thing. You could come in and listen and sing if you want with the band. And then we can look at the Niken concept after that. And she was going to do that. And then something came up that she couldn't, and something came up that I couldn't either. So she missed the music part, but she was still intrigued enough to come in. And it's not, she was going to come in on transit, but she ended up driving because it was raining really hard today. And I was really impressed that she would drive all that way and, you know, all the way back before, you know, she wanted to get out of there before the rush hour. But it was just it was like making a new friend. It just felt very natural.
Maggie,
So
I'm a musician too. Paul's heard me play several times. I'm principal in the symphony here locally.
cool.
I wanted to share something because Marcia, I actually want Marcia to share, because we're talking live events, and she created it outside in a different area and with an association. Marcia, you want to share what you did up in Long Island?
Sure. Barbara had contacted me. She was coming up into the area, and it was pretty short notice, actually. It was you coming to visit somebody, right? And then she said, do you want me to do something for you? So I said, well, okay, sure. I said, what am I going to do now? You know, so how am I going to get this together? So I thought of this is one gal that I'm not close friends with, but friendly with, who runs something called a Latino Civic Association. And my mind was thinking in terms of, you know, getting connecting her in some way, getting some interest in opening up anything in Latin America, which didn't happen, at least not yet, but it did lead to other things. So she was supposed to have something going on in her office. It's a small office, which actually fell through. So she ran around grabbing people from the building, and it was full. And Barbara came, and we talked to people about, we did an Egan, like a wellness preview, a little mini wellness preview. Actually, it was just kind of to introduce it. This friend is coming who knows a lot about health and stuff, and people were interested. So, yeah, so
We filled the conference table. I mean, it
we
was
filled the whole room,
amazing.
and that subsequently led, and people were interested, and it led to various things, sales and things. But she had subsequently invited me. I kind of became their water expert.
Mm.
And they had an event where they really went all out, and I still had the Spanish materials. They made stuff for me, they made slides, and I did a presentation on water, and they had a gal translating what I said, and had the slides in English and Spanish.
Beautiful.
Talked with Luis. We had her have a conversation with Luis. I thought, but nothing has happened yet, but I just am hoping something will.
She also asked a woman to host about 20 minutes or half an hour north, where she has a consultant to host an event for us.
Oh, I forgot about Merrill. Yeah.
So you did that too.
Yeah, I have every time Brody came, Brody used to come up and do stuff every now and then, and I would always call this woman Merrill. She's owns a business, and she's like really, I love her. She's a great gal. Anyway, so I always think of her when something's going on. So I called her, and again, it was like she couldn't really get all the people she usually got, because it was, I don't know, something was going on then, but she got some people. And I have this one guy who lives near her, and he came with a prospect, with someone. So, we had, a lot of stuff went on, actually. You mentioned it just kind of quickly. There really wasn't a lot of pre-planning. It was just like, hey, this is happening, do you want to be part of it? Can you help me out? And
she hosted it, she had food, she had that, she invited people to come.
Yeah,
she sleeps on a sleep system, she uses
a whole wellness
products.
home. Yeah, she has a whole wellness home in Spain.
Perfect.
She's the kind of person that she buys stuff for other people too. I mean, like, she has this business, and she's all these people that work for her, and she's like, a boss that buys you a water machine, an air machine. She has stuff in the business too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great.
Your name is Marcia, is it?
It is Marcia, yes.
Yeah, that's so important, Marcia, what you're saying about your friends, or maybe just repeat what they're saying to people. Okay, how did she get people from her building to show up quickly? You said a sentence or something. What is she saying to make that happen fast? She must know these people, and so what does she say to get them in to her office, fast?
I mean, it was like a day or two before. That was really it. I guess I just told her we were going to come and talk about wellness, right? Barbara, I don't even remember what the topic was, but it was a topic that created interest. She had influence over people. She was friendly with people. So it was like friends of friends. Come and hear, this person's coming to speak. It's an interesting.
Come and hear, this person's coming to speak. That's it. Come and hear, this person's coming to speak. That's it. That's it. That's all she said. But she has credibility with people. Come and hear this person, they're coming to speak. See, that's what we need. It can't, sometimes when the credibility is there, it doesn't have to be complicated. Come and hear this person, they're coming to speak.
Yeah.
Like Leo
Exactly.
with the magic Leo talks about, right, Leo?
Magic tricks. Yeah.
Come see the magic tricks. Come experience the magic tricks.
And then you sort through these people, who are the looky-loos, who just came because there's, with some food, or, you sort through, but something's happening.
Yes.
Okay, so we're almost at the end of the hour. I just want to recap. There's been some really rich tidbits here, some nuggets. A live event can be just about anywhere, right? At any time with anyone. and don't hold back. You don't have to know very much, right? The main thing is creating that rapport, asking questions that creates interest, and helping them to see that there might be something there for them. Having the ABC if possible, having somehow a product or a video or a picture or a person to enhance that experience. And it can be a really big event. You know, we can have thousands of people, or we can have one person. Those are all really valuable live events. Now we can have hybrid events because we have Seiko Kai, and you can actually have hybrid events on your team. You can have a live event at your place and bring people in, you know, create on your Zoom and have them see what's going on. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And the whole point of this is to help people understand that there are things that can help improve their lives in one of those 5 pillars of health or wellness, at least one, if not more. But it's getting their attention, creating the rapport, having something that's fun and short. And food is always good, right, Barbara? Food is always good.
That's right.
And having fun and following up. So anything anybody else wants to add to the whole thing about the live events that we've talked about? And a system. Don't forget the system. That's brilliant.
I think we covered it.
I think so. Nancy, you had a comment? No?
I'm good. This is all great. I was just thinking that we went out to lunch after church on Sunday with 2 couples. Well, a guy, his wife couldn't come, and 2 couples, and we were getting to know them. We talk all the time at church. And I said, I really don't know anything about you. You know, we just are always in our place. We kind of, you know, have a habit. Anyway, we went out and we were walking back to our cars, and I asked the husband of the couple I did not know, I said, are you retired? He went, yeah, I retired 2 years ago. And I went, well, that is great. And I looked at Karen, his wife, and I said, well, what about you? And she said, well, I'm not working right now. She said, and I still don't know what her work was. She said, I want to do something, but I'm just not. And I'm going, woohoo.
Yeah.
I see these people all the time. This is good. Anyway, so she turned around and said, you know, they knew in the conversation at lunch that David was retired and he had been a coach and all of that. And I said, well, I've been a mom at home. I said, now I have my own business. It's home-based business. And she said, oh, really? Well, what is that? And I said, well, it's a health and prevention research and development company. And I've been doing it for almost years, and I let people know they just need to get close to nature. I mean, it was just
yeah, it was natural, right, Nancy? It just flowed.
And then I think I told her some things that David had noticed with the products, and that was about it. We said, okay, see you next Sunday, and that was it. And I thought, I am not bringing anything up. She's gonna have to do something. But anyway, and I thought, yeah, we're writing this off as a business meeting, the lunch.
Exactly. Good stuff. Okay, any other closing comments or questions from anybody?
All I'm going to say is I'm going to send out a video tomorrow, hopefully with the link below it. I'll get that. It's a 1 minute, you know, or 90-second thing so that people can pre-register for Seiko Kai and have their hybrid event. So we're going to be good. Let's all promote the hybrid event for the Seiko Kai. Thanks.
And send people to Vancouver May 11th. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Vancouver's a little far from Frostburg.
Thank you.